So you're new to the game or you just can't hit your shots. Either way, you've come to the right place. Hey, what's up guys, my name is Strafing, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to improve your aim in Valorant. If you want more videos like this, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get into it. So guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you guys some tips that any beginner or any player can use, including myself. I'm not great at aiming, so I'm also going to be using these tips for myself. I just want to say thank you to ClickHeads for the video idea. Anyways, let's get straight into it. So the first section of this guide is going to be about movement and how to control your character. So controlling your movement in Valorant while you're shooting is one of the most essential things in the game. Valorant isn't as strict as Counter-Strike when it comes to moving and shooting, but there's also some mechanics that you will need to learn. So I know some players that after they die, they're wondering why they didn't kill the person because their crosshair was on their head or something. And basically this is probably because they were moving while shooting. This is definitely something you don't want to do, as your bullets will not be accurate at all, and you also have to control recoil. So the next best thing you can do is actually holding shift while shooting, walking while shooting. Your bullets will be more accurate, but it's also not as good as stopping. If you've come from Counter-Strike, you'll probably be used to stopping while shooting or counter strafing. This is the best thing to do while shooting, as your bullets will be 100% accurate. The best way to see this in action is to turn on your movement error in your crosshair settings. As you can see, movement error will let you know when it's the right time to shoot, so I really recommend this setting to beginners who are trying to learn the game and the mechanics of Valorant. Movement in Valorant is one of the most key things you're going to have to learn, and even some pro players can get this wrong. So earlier I talked about counter strafing, and now I'm going to show you guys how to do it. So basically what you want to be doing while counter strafing is go one way and then press the other key to stop. So for example, you can press D and then press A to stop. So you got to basically hold them down together to stop. So I'm holding A right now, and I hold D and A to get it to stop. This will allow you to get the most accurate shots and is very useful when peeking. If you've come from CS, you'll probably already know about counter strafing, but this will make you get 100% accurate shots. So the next thing we're going to talk about is your sensitivity in game. So generally there's two types of players when it comes to sensitivity: arm players and wrist players. Arm players will usually have a lower sensitivity since they can use their whole arm and they can be more precise. And wrist players will want to make smaller movements with their wrists, so they use a higher sensitivity. Depending on how much space and what you're comfortable with, you can then decide on your sensitivity. The first thing I recommend doing is doing a whole swipe of your mouse pad and seeing how far you get. You should be getting to about the 180 mark. If not, then I recommend adjusting it so you do get to that 180 mark to start with. So the only way to get good aim and a sensitivity that you like is all from practice. I recommend getting the 180 sensitivity and working from there, increasing and decreasing until you're comfortable. Once you have a sensitivity you're comfortable, I just recommend sticking with it so you can get used to it. If you're a beginner, I recommend you start with a lower sensitivity to develop the skills and fundamentals of Valorant shooting. Once you're more advanced, you can higher your sensitivity, and if you're a wrist player, you can make smaller movements and flicks if that's what you're good at. If you're starting to notice when you go to shoot your enemy you're overshooting them or not getting there, that might indicate that you need to increase or decrease your sensitivity. Good luck with finding your best sensitivity and learning muscle memory. Anyways, let's get into the next section. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is recoil. Recoil in Valorant and CSGO are quite different, as in CSGO there's a strict pattern for every gun. In Valorant, after the first 7 seconds it's a bit more random. This can make it hard to control for some players if they're used to CSGO. In CSGO, most players would burst at medium range, spray at close range, and tap at long range. I definitely still recommend this in Valorant. For whatever gun you choose, there will be a recoil pattern. This can be controlled for the first few shots of every gun. I recommend going against a wall and practicing this a few times. An important thing to know is that your firing error indicates when the recoil has been reset. I recommend doing the same thing, shooting on a wall and practicing like this. So on the subject of crosshairs, let's talk about crosshair placement. So naturally, newer players will aim their crosshair more towards the floor so they can see more of what's ahead of them. While this is true, it's extremely disadvantageous for your shooting. Having your crosshair low will mean more reaction time, and you have to move your mouse more to get to your enemy. This is why it's important to have your crosshair at about head height while walking around corners and just in the game in general. From here, obviously if you're spraying you will need to pull down, but this is the best way to get a headshot in your first few shots. So I'm going to put a clip up on screen of what good crosshair placement looks like. As you can see, AZK scans the area and looks for where the player might be. This allows him to line up the crosshair and instantly get the kill. Ultimately, for any of these steps, practice is key. Another good thing to do is watch the best players while they're in action. This is another great way to learn, and it's something you can do as well. Anyways guys, that's about it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.